Hello Blender folks, welcome and welcome back. I'm epistemic-gnomes and we are continuing with our live streaming of organic rigging with, in this case, Bandy Bones, 3D character adaptation. Hold on, let's fix some stuff here. I just closed my Blender. I was working on universal sonic mount rigging, just trying to understand some features, and we are going to go back to our file here, and there we go. So as you can see, we have some huge amount of tasks here, none of which are pretty simple, but yeah, so clear stacking waves is relatively simple. So we started that. I've realized something horrible. You know, last time, a few hours ago today, I've mentioned it. I was having trouble using the profiles here. The curve profiles. No, I'm not gonna imitate Pixar's how they mention it, but I think this is the trick. The question is, would that work for body rigging? Like, I think I've tried that once already and it failed miserably but maybe I wasn't using the method properly, and so there's still potential that this works for whole rigging. So it's sort of like a cage mesh, but more, maybe it's go deeper in the rabbit hole. That's why this is really profile thing, but the idea is a bit similar, right? So why I wasn't able to use this properly right before is because these waves, these vertex on the lips, they were sharing like crazy waves with a dangerous practice that I was having all that for since I started rigging, or at some point I've started doing something and it was wrong. So I use a lot of blended waves for and I don't use auto waves, set parent with to armature with automatic waves, right? I don't use that too much. I prefer to use blended waves and manual wave painting, but then also I do not use a lot of auto normalize nor normalization features. And it ended up that for practical some sort of the worst thing is that I actually put those in some of my tutorials. So for example, I had this, I still have to solve this for this mesh, and this is what so I have this head bone, and you see it's all waves for the head, but what it means is that except for, you see, I've just fixed that. I took off all waves from this. Maybe we should have small waves, I'm not sure. So there are lots of strange row waves in this mesh, and I would like to be able to solve everything here, but yes, my plan is indeed clear stacking waves for entire head mesh, a check mechanism relations, because the idea here is that if there's no waves for the head here, but then hold on, there are mechanisms which maybe not working well here because you hit to reset, but still the lips will move despite no waves from the head, because the head is moving stuff that is moving stuff that is moving stuff that is moving the so this will be ballistic transforms, right? So it's like parenting offset or parenting connected, bone constraints like child of bone constraint, all those things can work. So but I need to reassess those mechanisms, because now I've just realized why I cannot skip this at this point. First, it was ruining the amount of influence. Like, okay, the profiles were working mostly, even for, right, but they were not very accurate. That means that they were some offsetting, And now the cool thing after I took these waves is that the profiles are really close. So because the waves are now real waves here. It's not like 50% waves when one is here and one is like half. If the head takes maximum waves, right, ratio, right, so the vertex will go 50% for the head. Even if the head doesn't move, it still means that this bendy bone here would have only 50% share, half of the lips, so it wouldn't deform properly, the lips. It would, I have like to push it twice and to have the same deform. So yes, the deforms will work, it'll just take longer, but more graver than that, because these are profiles, bendy bone splines for the lips, it would make harder to visualize what they are really doing, and this will become more and more troublesome. And here we actually have the same problem happening here. You see, I cannot actually, sorry, wrong bone. This is the tweak bone that is supposed to, yeah, so you see, this is not moving the lips because this bone doesn't have influence in the lips. Maybe it should, maybe it shouldn't, but it's cool. Okay, we spread apart. This bone will allow to push this and the lips bones, see? And then for some reason, here I'm not sure, here I need to check. Hold on, let's investigate. Okay, this I know is that the waves of these splines probably are not very strong. But anyways, ignoring this, we see that if I pick that thing, yeah, so maybe this could be misleading, but I assume because the heads still have maximum waves here, these splines are being very unoptimal to pose. But I have been rigging for so long with this, let's say, restraint on the proximity, right, the accuracy, that I didn't just realize something was really wrong. I thought, oh, this is just the skinning algorithm, this is just wave painted, this is just, and eventually I got my work to do, but then there was this profile problematic. I just didn't realize, and now I know, and so now I intend to radically solve this for once and for all, and let's do it. Then if I am able to solve this and provide this doesn't ruin my rig, because there's a danger doing this, I don't really know if there are other waves that compensate for the head. So maybe because the head is a deformed bone, I have a deformed bone for the head, at least, let's say, at least certain waves it should have. I don't know if you guys know any alternative, but anyways, Igni Gear, hello again, welcome back. I hope you're well. Yes, actually, I'm fine, thanks. Hope you are too. Here, I've had great developments in from these last days, including today, especially yesterday or today. But I don't know. I'm not sure. It's like crazy. The progress is going insane every day. We're making fascinating discoveries. If you just arrived, maybe you lost the idea, but today or yesterday, I don't even remember, I've made this profile bendy bone splines for the lips. What this means is that these things, similar to nose thing, so it's a profile, so it keeps the character design in shape, but we can also yeah, we can also make these deforms, and they are sort of accurate. Here not so, but we are gonna fix that. And this means that I can virtually, if we get these waves good, well, here I should need some other extra splines here, and yeah, or this distance is too large, right? We need something, and those waves here are wrong. This means that I can have sort of morphs for the lips in, and I can pose asset this. I can create pose assets for all of them simultaneously. It's like shape keys, basically. It's definitively profile curves like Pixar tells. Maybe they're using other mechanisms, I don't know, but I didn't copy them. Yes, it was an influence maybe. So now I understand the concept, why they called it profile curves. Maybe it came from this whole idea of profile from a, yeah, very logical, right? And then, oh, why not have a profile also here, like very analytical, right? So profile curves. And so in this sense, this is also a profile curve, but from something that is not exactly a profile, right? You got the idea. I need to, reduce the size of this Blender window, otherwise the chat will lose it again. Alright, this is good. So, and it never occurred to me why they call it profile. So it's like a cage mesh by the end, and now this could lead to even more fascinating experimentation. And of course, in this case, this is spline skinning. It's probably possible to do this with just plain linear blend skinning, but the profile, the splines, bendable splines, are very handful in this case. So that's it. Let's go back. This is for the conceptualization. Let's try to solve the head stuff, right? Because this is the mistake that I was having for too long, and this needs to be assessed radically. So I see that for the head, I just had the head. I want to check first about this neck. It stops right there. Might be okay, it has some waves there. So I'm gonna save here, and I'll save this as head waves mechanisms. Yes, because this is what I'm gonna attempt to do now. This adjustments, I can brick the rig with that, and even my even the, wait, is it locked? Subtract maximum. All right. I'm not gonna care about the rest of the model, so I need to make some cleanup, right, folks? So this will be a at least in the beginning, this will be like a cleanup live stream, but as we go, we'll try to assess advanced stuff, right? So for now, let's see what we can do about this simplification, right? So I think, of course, there was a reason why there were waves. There's probably rogue waves, a mistake, but there was a reason why I had those shared waves in these advanced regions. But now I think it won't be necessary. So I'm assuming we can just play a little with that and simplify. Because now I'm going into a method of wave painting that will rely more on the mechanisms than on blended waves. So I don't really need those blended waves. I'm kind of getting tired of blended waves. They are a bit too dangerous. And this is what we need to take off from. Wait, what is wrong here? Okay, I know what is wrong. What is wrong is that definitively I never see the... Wait, this can't be. Oh, I always get confused. I see red there, but this is because the... Alright. So we need to do radical things here. So this is why I've saved. What for the head will be essential to keep? I assume that some portions of the forehead, right, folks? Yeah, the skull, especially the skull. The ears, maybe the ears we can just skip that, right? We for now let's. I don't have bone for ears, but actually that would be relevant. So I should have this, right? I don't have, so we're gonna take them off here so it's easier to wave paint. We will take off. Is the middle center area a good wave to care? Yes. Actually, this is interesting. Maybe this area in the middle is not supposed to move so much, so we'll use actually, yes, we'll have some sort of structure here. I don't know for this area because there are deforms here that count, which count, but here it sounds like it should be beneficial. Okay, so we're gonna try something here. It should only be actually a, right? I never did this kind of, I never had this particular perception about the head rig, so this is very, very curious thing. We'll take off here because then I suspect the nose is a more rigid structure, although there's a bone, so, but there's the profile curve. Let's take it off. We have already a bone there, so however here, yeah, that this area is complicated for that profile curve. I knew I have, maybe I lack some mesh topology anyways. All this regarding the eyes is a mess because my bendy bones there were losing power because exactly of those heavy waves of the head. Of course, I intend to blur that after, right? So we'll try to see. I think here we should have, it's not like the eyes, these things will cross, so we'll try something here. Maybe this is a bad idea. Of course, certainly without blurring it will be a horrible idea. So we'll keep this kind of stuff, right? And then there'll be faster ways, but we'll do it slowly so we can analyze, we can think in the process, right? Rigging, as many other art forms and creative stuff, it's much sometimes about thinking. It's not like speed. Oh, hard work is the product of good creativity. If you are creative and you are in the process, in the flow, let's say, some sort of special flow, there's no requirement to. Hard work is the consequence of it. Of course, sometimes we can consider the opposite. Why not? That's fine. But we cannot fool ourselves. Very easy to be fooled by today's media ideas, stupid ideas, right? Then there is the mouth interior, which I probably could. It's already wave, so I believe it also doesn't require. The jaw things is waved, so here for the ears, around the ears, we probably will consider having like some structures. That means having, well, like this is already the skull, right? Back to the skull here. Back to skull, not schools. Here we can have maximum waves. This is not a very deforming area, right? So it's more rigid. And back in the ear, that's fine. You can get here. Here it starts to get smoother, but we can, yeah, it's still around the ear, so we need to, let's wave paint this, and then we can protect, for sure, we can protect what is like, oh, this won't move for certain, and then the rest we, so we have like a subdivision, division between, you see, what is full red and what is, you see, we have strange blurring there. Let's fix that. Good. Here blended waves should be fine. There's already the neck here, so that's okay. Here it is clear that we need to solve this way. Okay, there's mouth interior. This will be complicated from here. We'll need to take off the probably the mirror modifier. We don't need to assess that to retake them from this. It will be too dangerous. We probably would like to hide everything else. So for now, let's do something here. I have this, we can benefit from this use here. I feel like the face is deformed in a strange way that I don't understand why, but we'll realize at some point, and the worst case scenario, just take it from modeling. It might be some modifier, or perhaps it's a wrong pose that I've made that they didn't reset. We'll see. Mouth interior, we just hide for now. We'll retake this last. Mouth region, we no, this is incorrect. Let's just hide the rest so that we can continue here. Okay, so at least I've hidden the mouth interior, so that's fine. It looks like that. Okay, we see some mistakes here. Not mistakes, I forgot some waves. Yes, we took off. We'll make sure we took off all those things later with some trick. We'll leave it for blurring in a moment. Here probably I want some blurring here. And around, there's some threshold I want to blur here. And here, yes. So there's the problem of the sheen. Yes. The chin, sorry. So there is the jaw. I think this is mesh that will deform. So actually we are gonna take this off. There's already waves for the chin. We don't need the head. It's too paternalizing. That's it. We don't need the head to be paternalizing those things. Then perhaps, yeah, I'm confused about this particular place here. Maybe we can do something like that. It's strange though, so maybe there is advantage in having here. Okay. Okay, it's still blended waves, right? It's not like the head is blocking this thing. It's just, maybe it will delay a little, but at least let's maybe this helps regularity into this region. So maybe it's good for the chin. So let's go all around here. And if for some reason this proves to be a bad decision, we can just take off some waves from the head right from there. We'll see this as we pose the jaw. Of course I don't want these waves that way, but this is just, yeah. We are going to blur that. All right. I think this is enough for this part, because we're gonna make a selection of what seems to be for the head, and this is so important that we are going to probably, yes, and then this is the problem of the jaw also. Now you see, I was having a lot of trouble on pivoting point the jaw and everything because exactly of the head thing. It didn't make sense to me because, well, it's just the head bone is not moving. Yes, okay, so it won't compete like in opposite direction, but that doesn't matter because the deformed bones that are moving, they won't rotate or transform 100%. Whatever transform they will, it will always be like half in that case. If they were full waves and the head was full waves, and we are not on normalization method, not my case, right? So this will mean that 90-degree rotation of the chin would actually transform, right? 90-degree would mean half in terms of mesh deforms. It would mean 45-degree rotation for the mesh that is affected by that jaw. So I was never seeing the real deforms I was always seeing in half of it, half of the power of the bone. It's always fun to watch you work. I have to go for today. I'll definitely come back to the channel. See ya. Yes, thanks for being around. Igni here. Have a good rest. and happy blending. Yes, feel free to come by whenever you please. I'm doing this every day. Thanks for the comment. Very, very appreciated and inspiring. We are continuing here. Sorry for this being not perhaps the most interesting live that one today, at least in this part, but it's actually critical to rigging. So yeah, let's blur these waves here. We're gonna have to reassess anyways. So okay, the mouth interior, we going here. We are going just to pick the, so this is what was happening, folks. That explains lots of things. I wasn't having good we can even add the lips just in case. So now if I go here for the head, right, where's the head bone? Need to check the armature, which disappeared. I hate that. Okay, unhide everything. Then I just want to show the head. Yes. Then at some point I hit the head and then no, that's why I've hidden the head. Alright, so here we are going to assess this mesh. This is pretty simple. There's nothing here that, oh, you might think, oh, but then we want this teeth to be adequate to the arcade, right? I mean, this is structural stuff, right? So let's get it waved to the head. Makes sense, except that these things already have mechanisms, and they can also be wave painted to other bones, and the head bone is not the one that will rotate this stuff in terms of armature deform. So if we wave paint this thing here just because we think it's structural, we'll have the transforms, deforms, let's say like that, unalignment. They won't match, and this will be extremely confusing, as deforming mesh is confusing enough on its own. So here what we do, we just get this, shift, wait, goodbye. Yeah. Need to protect the mesh, goodbye. That's it, folks. I don't even know if I have a selection, but it has gone forever. So, learning with mistakes. I'm considering at this moment, not right now, but I'm considering in the very near future, maybe in the next days, separating again this structure. It's not absolutely required, but it's because I'm finding, thanks to this universal sonic mouth rig ideas, right, concepts, I'm considering what's happened to the tongue mesh. There's something weird about it. It's like it's suffering interpenetrations in itself. Okay, maybe it's because we took the waves. Yeah, maybe it's lacking waves, so I don't know. Anyways, we'll assess that later. In principle, we don't know. Well, we can know right now if certain things broke. We might be able to assess by rotating the head because of the mechanisms. Okay, we see something strange happening there. And this may be because there's just no waves for this mesh. It's just, you see, it stays in place. Those vertices don't budge. They maximum they only have so in another rig I solved that by having a bone which contains those waves. Technically this is accurate. We could instead add this to the head bone, but this would be isolated. It'll be a bit strange, right? So let's create a deformed bone here just to solve this, right? That will be yeah, so we have some difficulty in creating some bone anywhere here, so it's pretty simple, folks, right? So just something, a bone like that. It doesn't need to be accurate nor nothing, just behind the eye. It doesn't need to be... Okay, I have an idea. Just do something interesting here. We pick this. We'll get the head of the bone exactly in that location. So we can already paint that in. Could be a tiny bone, can be short. That should be good. Then we call it def head because it's eyelids borders left. Then we're gonna give it a bone groups of deformation on pose mode. We're gonna turn it into a deformed bone. It is already. We're going to parent it to a bone that is fundamental, of course, the head bone. So it doesn't matter if it took the waves from the head bone of these things, because the head was the... We will assign... We can't just assign because shift 1, shift 2, shift 3, this is the... Okay, we got a selection. We can also always smooth those things as much as we can, right? Okay, then we lost a little of the original. We can rechange, why not? Here. I hope this... maybe this was a bad positioning, let's see. No, it's good, you see. They like... is a ramping down, right? So... the eye, this is good. This is just in other angles might look bad, but in the frontal view that's what it's supposed to do. This is the inner eyelids border, so it will shrink wrap behind the eye. It's already sort of shrink wrap, but no, it's just the original position, but it keeps shrink wrapping just in case, right? Just in case. Then we got these sharp things, but this is not actually the... I have a better method today, and so this, at least we realize that they exist, but clear sharp, we can actually, this is for the shape of the ear, and we can go Shift E, maybe, I don't even know if we took the right one. This works with subdivision modifier. Not sure if that's the result that we want. Maybe I should reshape that at some point. It keeps it sharp enough, so this is why we have that for this area. Here it works very clearly, you see. Alright, what I'm doing, I need to select those verts, but then I was I was distracted by those edges, right? Which I think they do nothing here, they just, so maybe two. All right, let's see if this, maybe this does better than, so okay, we got that, and now let's go back again. These are seams, so this is fine, this is just seam stuff. We select, then this is protected, right? Making sure. We go here, wave painting. We want the bone. There's nothing. We use the vertex selection because just vertex, no faces here, and full waves to that. That's just one edge ring, no other thing. This is just an automatic subdivision, doesn't really exist. And so now this should have fixed that problem exactly. And slowly by slowly we're gonna assess everything, and if we are lucky there is not much things to do. Now we can just symmetrize this bone, and okay, now I probably want to reassess you see that this is a hide head. So this takes all the thing of the head. It's not a vertex, it's not a deformed one. It's just a sort of a mask for hiding. So we leave it at this, but because the head seems to be so fundamental now that I found out these problems, we are going to bring this up. What is that? Bone R? I think this is old. Let's delete that. Okay, so I have this is hide one head. So we have this, we'll call it head, okay, the other one is the head, so this would be 1A, and this will be 1B, okay, because this one is the first, right? This we could consider, okay, head region, and head columns pillar. Yeah, okay, that will let me head school. Yeah, that makes sense. So head, because it's first. So what we do by this, there's no selection there, then we can start hiding this. Mouth interior is part of the head, but we hide. We will get this selection here. We are actually going to pick this. If I now a cool trick on edit mode, we select this. No. How strange. It considers there's waves here. No, this is senseless. Well, it cannot select. I see, I understand. It doesn't catch the idea. Okay, so this means that we cannot have this selection. Can I duplicate this? Clone, set copy duplicate group. I never used this and did preoccupied, so it's a copy. Okay, it seems to have been cloned. Okay, good operator. It seems that it works. Okay, you have this and you have this, it's the same. So what we do with that is that this one, no, it's irresponsive. Even though it's not a deform vertex group, it just doesn't recognize the limits. Yeah, it's wrong. So let's forget this. Okay, but this is a modifier. It's very strange. If I do this, this will be certainly chaotic. Yeah, this is like so I cannot have this selection. Why I cannot have this selection? Well, anyways, we have our ways. We got the selection, not exactly as I wanted, but if I go here now, okay, so this is here, this is still here. So I really would like to have... I think I have an idea. Those were assigned differently. This is completely crazy, folks. These ones I've assigned like this, and the original one, that one that I was painting, it was assigned like by wave painting manually or something like that. This is why it cannot recognize the assign. They were falsely assigned. They weren't really assigned. So in order to get this fixed, I have to sort of unassign. Yeah, so let's do something like that, right? We can always invert the select, right? But for now, it would be like... Blender is dramatic sometimes, like humans. I mean, in a bad way, not dramatic in a good way. We don't have much precision because of that. Like, it's like it will be tiresome to do that this way. We are nearly finishing, but then you see we need to be careful about some details. And I think this is good. What you can do is assign. What does that mean is then once I go here and I select, hold on, no, let's go back. Before I lose that, we Control E that, remove. Of course, then I remove that. And what does that mean is that now if I go here and I select, those are assigned. Okay, we are getting it, right? Now we start assign full waves to this. So this we are assigning the structure that we want, right? I think this at least, right, folks? Here there are some vertices I would like to play with, so okay, let's go until here. I'm not certain, but it looks like acceptable, these two. So have something like that. Assign. Here we have to consider how far this goes. Yes, we're considering. Okay, we see where the chin goes, so it goes there. So we can take this off. Here too, we don't need this. All that is good. So assign whatever is not this, we make sure we remove. Invert again. Here I think these are bad, exactly this, and this could be the last ones. Yes, so assign, Control E, remove, assign. Now let's check. Alright, so this is ready to be locked. Yes, it is ready to be locked. If we make retakes here, we're gonna find out later if that is useful. I'm feeling like more better mesh topology here will be required for this shape, but that's you see that part doesn't seem very circular. Like, while here we have this. Well, I remember why this, because actually this is not that bad. Actually, it's just because I'm not using the mirror. So the mirror modifier, this seems better, right? So I have the mask. Alright, so with this in ready, this means we've made this just to be able to have this head skull, and now I can wave paint with some protection. If I have a selection, I can invert that selection, right folks? Anytime. I will go to the head bone, the deformed famous or infamous head bone. Aha! And maybe there'll be a better way for doing that, but for us this is the best that I could find. Now with this we can simply Shift K0. If we invert, we give it one maximum. So this is the oh no, don't do that. Okay, this is not the correct one. This is still the head skull. So we need to be careful about that part. So let's protect that. This bone is in the way. How do we fix this? We need something like, just for a moment, just for a second. I don't want to hide the bone or change its stuff, right? So let's just do this. Change it to stick. Here, I'm afraid I don't want to. Yeah. Do this. Now we can Shift K this to 1 on the death head bone, indeed. This one, the stick bone that is there. Then we invert. Now we probably can. What happened there? I think I just a wrong. Here, since we are here, we just blur a bit more. Why not? Then, just to make sure, because we made some small change, maybe it will be effect. So we lock that, and this we Shift K. Now we took all away from this. This is not the skull. I've never seen this kind of precision, and so this is good for a tutorial, folks, but I don't know if that will work actually. So head pillar, head column, head structure. I was discussing this idea with a friend in Blender Artists Forum by private message. He was explaining how he used, similar as I was using, the concept of pillar. structural pillar for bendy bone splines, like to just they don't budge usually, but they serve to preserve weight. Well, the head bone itself can be used as this kind of structure, and I never told that to him because I myself didn't know that concept. So this would be a head pillar, just like something here we don't have right now here. This strongly suggests that we should have this head pillar here. Okay, maybe, but then this thing is more flashy. The mesh topology here is not that good for that, so what we can do though, folks, that, well, this is a base protector of the skull, right? So it's not so grave. The other one, right? What's I mean, this one, right? This one is just if the head then deform bone, definitely. I think we can get some slight improvement here. On edit mode, so for some reason looks like these words weren't assigned. No, seems to be a now it's okay, but then it's clear that I see there's still one there, so we can. I see this one wasn't assigned, that's why, so we can still do that though. So yes, I'm a bit concerned about how this thing is developing to this area should. Okay, we are still experimenting, right, folks? So this is not like, this is still forehead, so it's not like, oh, it's a skull now, this is rigid. But yeah, if we have, it's quite hide, so we're gonna work on the subdivisions anyway. The sorry, the there's enough mesh there to deform, so, but from my experience, I think it's whenever I look at the vertex groups, it seems like I did something wrong here. I thought I had red here too, yes. I have this memory, so maybe I got this wrong for the I did it for the head, but the deformed head, but not for this strangely. Then also here, that's it. And if I continue doing this, eventually my head bone will be everywhere, as again, as in the beginning. Yeah, so just in the center it was a bit strange, right? So let's see now. Oh, now we get the same problem, right? I can't believe that. Because I was wave painting manually, right? So all over again? Yeah, apparently yes, folks. Unless I had a backup, I don't think it's interesting. I save all the time. Let's see if we can assess the time. Let's try this. Okay, if I try to save 5 minutes ago, folks. Okay, and then again, we don't have good selections, but this is very strange. Now even my head region is compromised. No, head region is all the head, right? Skull region is compromised. Head regions. Maybe I'm missing something about wave painting. Do wave painting mode has selection? No, there's just select. There's no such thing as wave select from here. Nothing to match here. This is really bizarre. I don't have memory of this problem. Okay, I have another idea. If I create something like a new group, hide head 1 head, okay, X, sort by name. I want to solve this for once and for all. So if I go here, we can at least know what is the selection that we would like to have, except that we cannot select it immediately. You have to manually do something like that. So let's just get the contour. And yeah, because this is easy, is that this edge ring here, edge loop here, I'm not sure. Then there will be something like that, right? Alright, so with this makes for a selection, which will go back here and we can, no, we need to bring this and assign. Now if I select, I have this, right? We can do the rest through regular stuff here. Okay, this time we don't need this as a skull, so we could take this off. Until this blue edge, I guess. Yeah. It will be blend wave, so here yeah, I would like to that it ends here, and then we go up there, and that's it. So this will assign once again. If we I'm gonna save, then we invert, we can make sure we remove that. Then when I select this, if we check on wave pane, there we go, we have this full red stuff. Here I'm a bit concerned about if that was properly done here. No, we need one more. This is okay. Assign. Now we lock. And finally, so if you check here, yes, they are slightly different. What we can do is try to blur the last one, but this is the whole selection. And this, well, oh, this is cool, but yes, it is cool, but look at that thing. Why, look at this. Forgot to remove here. So it just looks cool, but actually it's a tragedy. Well, we could include that one. Okay, so assign. So this is a mistake. We can delete. We can select, so head skull, and then I hope this doesn't do any treachery. So now we go to the armature, we go on the depth. There are some depth bone, yes, which is here. Then we get on, we can already get our selection. We go on wave pane mode. For that selection we have that mask, but then we have the head and we have the mask, so we can Shift K that on red. Now we start with so small advancement on those structures. We can invert now. Let's just work on smoothing there. And there it comes, the smoothing part, where we must decide, do we smooth inside or outside? Well, if we smooth from here, it will be safer, although this is not stops being a 100% waves. So this will be more organized if you accept that yeah, I don't really want to paint randomly in this area, so the difficulty here is to find a somewhere in between this and this. Currently I could certainly Shift K all that to 0. And I can perhaps expand. No, hold on. Okay, then I can Control E. Yes, you see what happened? So if I expand this and I invert, it doesn't help. So it doesn't help to, if I expand here, also doesn't help. So the best thing then would be to have from this thing some sort of automatic expansion, right? Except that we'll still have this area to take care for. So I don't agree with this, so let's do this thing. And that's it. We are decided that will be enough thinking. I cannot protect everything there properly, but this should be regular enough so that we can let's hide some mesh here. I can actually make, why I haven't thought that, right? So if we go here, we get the head skull. We can, like for example, invert this. We can, for example, if we want to protect this, we could do that. Ah, I've got an idea. Although it's a bit strange. Yeah, this area is a column. It's a bit strange because then it will affect the eyelids. That structure. well, we could work this as a degradee. So yes, let's try to use this as a blurring system for the, of course, it's locked, so of course for the head. So here it should be okay to, if we accidentally blur the rest, not accidentally, because this, yeah, yes, so we can probably blur more here, this area. Okay, should be safe to blur that thing. No worries anymore. I'm tired of thinking on this. We'll have to see the real results, right? Otherwise it's very hard to assess. Then here it'll be a bit blurry, literally, to know, but it's a very important area. At least let's try to be regular here. I think I've lost waves there. I might have accidentally deleted that. So this part is important here. Yeah, it's clear that this part we need to retake. It's not that simple. The neck region, unfortunately we've lost that, so what we can do is just it's an area I would have to retake for a while, so it's not, it was working, but maybe we could make some improvements. So this should work for now. Then here, yes, so I'm going to save here, and this is the part of the column, right? So the idea here is perhaps we get some stronger waves, but not too much here, because this area should deform more. So this should be like an expansion of the skull towards this. Even this area may be more fleshy. In terms of deforming, it's not that simple. It's not an area here that we want too much deforms. This is why the column thing that I was explaining before. However, we should have tried to find some means of a curve around here, something like that. It's a bit complicated. The geometry is not very good here to the mesh topology doesn't help much to understand this, but I believe this will be safe enough. Anyways, these columns, they're already moving well, so this will just reinforcing their qualities, and we probably would have to retake them also. Here, considering the original head deforms that we had here, the waves for the head, this would be a major improvement to this eyes rig. And here in the bottom we don't really want waves is not required. We're just getting these low waves here because, well, it is. We could do that, right? Since the eyelids are protected, yeah, we could do something like that. But no more than that. We could put zero waves everywhere, but if we start doing that, then those waves are not really impactful, so let's keep it like that. Here the waves stop. Yeah, if I had to add here, I have to go far in this direction. It could affect how this whole area is deforming. Already this is bad, so one idea is, well, if you can have so very low weights everywhere for the head, it won't really matter. Yeah, could try this. Nobody cares. Maybe just for the mouth we don't include, right? So for example, yeah, it would end there, right? There. Maybe it's the best approach, so you can blur all that without much restraint. It's just so low waves. I know this works. Still blend waves, and that's it. We should be able to attempt something here. Okay, that inside is not the tongue, is the mouth interior, I think. That is going crazy because perhaps it got some waves from the head, I think, the head bone. I'm gonna check this. Very easy to check, just check the Alright, so apparently the head bone, we got back some waves in a crazy way that I don't know when did that happen for the head bone, so not a problem. We have a vertex group for mouth interior, all of it. Then we go on the mouth and we shift K 0 on a selection, and there we go. So this is why always when making this, if not during the process, at least before saying, oh, the rig is done, no, check the head rotation for facial rigs especially. And if you're doing leg rigs or arms rig, also check the root transforms, right? Check the torso rig. You could be deceived if not assessing those transforms. mechanisms can break after some new developments, after some changes. Alright folks, so I'm I'm gonna save, and now a big challenge that I know is not, yeah, it's part of the challenge, right? We need to assess our ice rig, because the ice rig I've made wasn't I'm even a bit scared to test this now, because I've made this entire rig with this stupid conceptualization of stacking wave, or of ratio, that of blended waves, the way I was trying to correct right now. And it's not stupid, it's just that it's actually in many cases is just not a good approach, for the reasons that I would only find 2 years later, or maybe 1 year later, 1.5 years later, when I was trying to be very accurate with some deformed bones, and I couldn't because of the offsetting caused by those ratios. Okay, the ice rig, we need to test them. Okay, the ice features seem to be moving okay in terms of mechanism, so this is not a big deal. But the problem, okay, all the rig is here. I don't use actually this system here of bones. What we need to assess here is the following. I've made the wave painting for all those features with the influence of the head. This means that all the stuff, all the bendy bones here, the splines, bendy bone splines, all the control rig will, except perhaps for, I don't know, the head bone has influence on that in the eyebrows. Yeah, a good idea. Let's assess this. So if I had the, where is the eyebrows? Okay, it's there. And where is my deformed head bone? In the rig. Here it is there. Let's try to do this. Okay, at least I wasn't crazy enough to do this. So the head bone doesn't have influence in the eyebrows. So the eyebrows technically is the only thing here that would be unchanged. I want to hide the hair, and for some reason everything is wireframe. Alright, so I have this. Let's hide again this, and okay, one by one, eyebrows. Okay, so the eyebrows seem unchanged as expected. Maybe something there. No, it's just shrink wrapping with the eyelids, eyelashes actually. Okay, unchanged. I shouldn't even be checking. Eyelids, eyelids is important. So not yet. Let's check here. What should happen is that this should move much faster than before, and this is slightly more dangerous because, well, moving faster is not moving differently actually. We could expect that. Yeah, I feel like it's much faster now. So here at the top we see where the head look like the little aliens they found in Peru now, or those fake aliens. The scientists, they've seen something. Some understood, scientists from outside, not from there, from the Mexican Congress, but or scientists that assess it from the media, but other, I don't know, other scientists maybe not, more like they found out that perhaps the skull was actually the back of the skull of a llama or some familiar animal, and there were pictures of that, and it seems to make sense. So here, yes, there's small degradation on the rig, I believe, here on the top. Not that this is wrong, but it could be smoother, and so the head skull is too potent here, so that's why the skull appears there. The good thing of all that, although this means I'll have to retake this iRig at some point after, probably, the good thing is that the rig is certainly more responsive. The eyelids, look how, yeah, so this is the good thing. So actually this was not bad, it's just that it's time consuming to retake, to make this better. But the good thing is that now the splines are really responsive. This means that the waves that I've made also should be retaken. I've waved the eyelids in a way that they would adapt to the heavy waves of the head, which were affecting even the eyelids, right? Because it was part of the head mesh, the face mesh in general. Yes, it really feels responsive now. I was having to push like this bone twice to have this sort. Like the mesh really follows the splines. So it's very different from what I was having. But then maybe we have to, yeah, probably would like to change the waves. Then smooth perhaps some stuff. So this means overall a gain in responsivity, I think, and accuracy, right, in posing. A good gain, but this also means that I'll have to retake some wave painting, perhaps some, yeah, mostly wave painting, so it's mostly only wave painting. The rig didn't break, although there were some parts which were. This means that it could be easier to make very hard, very strong deforms. So there's actually cool. Oh, it's not there. Here. the rig being more responsive, much faster to make the expressions, and we probably, yeah, we have the same expressions, just have to move the bones lesser. In a certain sense, yeah, gain in accuracy, but it's much faster. Sometimes we might lose something. We'll have to move the bone like here to be able to. No, actually we'll have to move the bone here in order to see what I was able to see before. Like, it was sort of slow motion posing before. Alright folks, so I believe, because nothing broke really here, this means that facial rig, what I had, that was it, the eyes, the stuff there. Now I'm curious about how the bone parenting of the eyes are. Just something I need to revise. Is it object parenting? Relations? No, it's bone parenting. Okay, bone parenting. Good, good. This is armature deform. Object parenting. No parenting here, and this is a bit strange. But I've decided that I would not use this method anymore, because it's difficult to organize the. I found out there's a way to reshape the. Oh, but then I will have problems with the UVs. Or maybe not. We'll have to experiment. I was using this, so maybe in order to simplify, not that I need to change the shapes here, so anyways, okay, never mind, this is not important. Eye surface ghost is, this is bone, but actually, yes, this one doesn't need reshaping, so it's fine. But that this one, I've just learned that from the Sonic, Universal Sonic rig, that this is actually. So hold on. Let's clear stacking waves for this assault. Yeah, at least one good achievement for this one. So. New lips rest positions. Oh, this will take time. I think I don't have possibility to do this today, so let's skip. Probably we'll skip everything. That was long enough, but we made some cleanup, and that was good. The mechanisms are adequately working. Retake bones, rest positions, red lip profiles. Okay, that lip stuff also time consuming. Test gradation. Yeah, so we may end up just with a few tests. So there's this idea of gradual shrink wrapping. Usually the wave painting for shrink wrapping is like usually the vertices I'm curious about something here. See, this is a correct vertex group. It has a selection here. If I start painting more, I'm not assigning, I'm just adding waves. What happens to the new selection? You see, it knows. And I didn't have to assign. So this seems to be a bug, folks. Apparently vertex groups which come from deformed bone vertex groups, they do not recognize wave painting through wave paint mode as assigned stuff. So we're gonna note this. Alright, that's it. So yeah, this is most likely a bug. Words at some point reporting. Okay, hopefully I've saved so I'm not disrupting this vertex group. So I was willing to test the quality of the shrink wrapping. So one of the tasks that may be a small experiment, it's important for our goal here, but it's a bit difficult to assess. I might have to make more tests. Test gradation shrink wrap modifier for ellipse layering. Alright. Actually, I already did the test. Did I? I need to assess that. So I have a experiment here, Mount Kirby, in which, but this was done differently. So I did with multiple shrink wrap modifiers. It's not Kirby, this will be more like the Sonic theme, universal Sonic mouth. So there's an armature somewhere, which I do not see. No, there's no armature. There's just, okay, in this case there's no armature. So this is being able to but it's not seamless, right? So anyways, yeah, it's a bizarre shape, but whatever. But we need to consider here for this test is that I've made multiple shrink wrap modifiers. Each one, there's a layering. It's a known concept used for many things, right? Well, not layering, but you know, this can call layering. So each one of these vertex groups actually select a different set or edge ring. The last is corrective modifier. This one is the one I think that doesn't shrink wrap. Group 3. Yeah, it's not properly named, so shrink wrap outside. Okay, so this is okay. So what we could do to assess this now is that because if we check wave paint, those vertex groups are usually plain stuff, but then it could be that with instead of making multiple of them, by having just one shrink wrap modifier layered by a single vertex group, so layered vertex group. Okay, so mod shrink wrap layered. So now we can go on wave paint mode and we can just we can't add stuff, right? There's nothing, but we can probably start building on top of that. So for example, this will be the furthest one to be shrink wrapped. That we invert, we can start perhaps pushing this towards that direction. Of course not with this amount of strength, but yeah, just blur this out and alright, so this would probably mean this a layered shrink wrapping modifier. Of course we need to set it. Everything there is disabled, so okay, shrink wrap to this. All the mesh is shrink wrap, but we want this. Already see some difference. Okay. This inversion suggests the vertex groups are system is accurate, but not totally certain of that. But yeah, so those ones there got one. Yeah, it's very clear that. As you see, so it's true. Shrink wrapping this, besides what we can do with this, then we can use whatever other thing. Just got a crazy idea now, folks. This is not making any difference, but I've just got an idea. These systems I didn't create, right? I was adapting, trying to reproduce something. This is from certain Kirby mount rig tutorial. A fast one with some lattice thing, doesn't matter. So union. Oh, target. Fail to set value. There. Ah. It looks like... No, they're still not seamless enough. Subdivision before, or I don't know. It's the idea of getting the boolean, the union. It's a bit laggy. It's crazy what... Okay, difference probably not. I haven't thought about this, but okay, intersect, what's that? Interesting. No, this is not interesting. So union is the most interesting, but there is this. I cannot create the whole, so this was a problem of regard to that Kirby tutorial. I didn't finish, I just got some. So apparently what we get from this is that the union fast, maybe fast is faster. It is more seamless than... Okay, this is this is kind of crazy. I didn't know this particular result. Now if I change the material, perhaps yes, it will sacrifice what I had before, but let's try to get something like... It's not seamless, but there's some deformation because of the mesh geometry, but we can probably solve that with okay, let's do this. So we are checking two concepts here. So maybe this is what was going wrong in the assessment of the tutorial. I didn't know how to use the boolean, and here what I'm knowing is that I'm putting the boolean in the same object, but it goes after the shrink wrap, just after the shrink wrap. Or we could do boolean, then shrink wrap. No. Maybe this is better. We could even do some sort of I don't know, maybe the mesh. Yeah, let's do something like a subdivision, shrink wrap, boolean, more subdivision. This starts to get really slow, right, folks? So we probably don't want too much subdivision. So, and the last thing could be, it's actually fast now, but I think, yeah, if the subdivision comes after, it starts to lag. So when the subdivision comes first, for some reason it's easier. It has hard time after the boolean, I think. Yeah, which is not bad because actually the boolean is good to be after certain features. If we do corrective smooth after subdivision, no, sorry, maybe corrective smooth is, it should be relevant, but okay, there's nothing special here, so not touching that. It's clear that my meshes are not very well subdivided. Hold on, I can't select the the original cube here. Maybe itself would benefit from a subdivision surface, I don't know. Let's get this. Then we develop boolean. No, not that this seems to help a lot. What if we augmented the subdivisions here? Yes, still fast, but yeah, so without the boolean we don't get the welding, but this can be compensated in other ways, I think, but I don't know how to do it. So this, and then from this we could have the corrective smooth, which could probably, no, it's already very high, so only smooth pin boundaries. This is, maybe this is not doing much. Scale, no. Original coordinates, bind coordinates, I never know about that, so what is the corrective? Is all that? Yes, is all the mesh. And wave painting, maybe you can give a shift. This maybe, why not? Now this is the shrink wrap thing, so the corrective was already very strong anyways. Usually shrink wrap is the first, then boolean, then this luggerish everything. So it's really about the corrective smooth that maybe yeah, the thing on the square doesn't help much, so apparently when I changed the wave painting, I got it destroyed. So if you go back, it's very simple. What I was using the boolean after the shrink wrap, but then there is the laggy thing of this, right? Well, this still works, alright. And legs not. So, alright, so the only problem here actually, there, of course, there will be other problems, but the main problem, besides the fact that I don't know if Boolean modifier can be used like that, it's just a single object that is merging, so that's... we don't know if this this mesh topology is reliable in terms of what we see. Yeah, in terms of what this is a bit problematic sometimes. We need to investigate this Boolean and see if there are ways to prevent this thing, right? If you got this after and before, I know they use this for certain... no, it seems irrelevant. Subdivision, what if we... maybe I'm underestimating this stuff. No. Then only one thing left is, for now, is more subdivision and put it after, which will lag incredibly. And doesn't help anyhow. Alright folks, at least we found out that test gradation shrink wrap modifier, right, for ellipse layering. What that means is that currently I think we have something like that. Let's see. Shrink wrap, do you have shrink wrap? Shrink wrap connector. Oh, I remember what was that. Okay. We don't have any. We don't have. It was for when we separated that. So yeah. Okay. We'll perhaps we'll make it later. So muzzle. Oh, this is what I was looking for, of course. So we can have wave paint on that. this means that we can blur many of those things here, like, right folks? And the cool thing that we have found regarding Universal Sonic Melt Rig is that analyzing the file and some documentation, this ghost shape, I'm using it rigid, it is not dynamic. In his rig, this deforms along the face, which is a bit bizarre because the face shrink wraps to it. It's sort of a strange dependency loop, and there were 3 meshes. I have just 2 meshes. I was able to... There was this box volume shrink, double shrink wrap technique, but I didn't understand exactly how it was used, so I made myself one box, so it's like a double. So this mesh, there's an inside and an outside. Of course, they work inversely, because the outside is the limit inside this. Yeah, I think I have explained that. And so I have a invisible interior wall, which we use outside, but it's negative, and then it's a exterior wall. Well, this should be positive. It's not exactly positive, it's the beginning of the negative. So yeah, this is just circumstantial, but it's close to 0, so it's close to positive, while this one is quite far. This distance is 0.1 or negative 0.1. This is already something a bit further away, so there's a difference right between this and this, and this is the double shrink wrapping box wall instead of surface wall. It's a box wall. It's like a box of this shape on the 2 extremities. I can see the size of it, but we can see from the deforming of the mesh anyways. So what I had is that, well, this is not deforming, but this mesh is shrink wrapping to this original shape as it deforms, so it's a way to preserve the shape. So it's another alternative, but I like what he did, the guy named Kamal, that actually we could, I haven't thought about that, right? We can make this dynamical too. So it's armature deform, and the same waves, the same, it's like the mesh is nearly the same place, I guess, in our space as a rest position. It's a clone, right? Basically, with some, probably a clone with some slight differences. Of course, a different mesh object, it has served other purpose, and it is dynamic. Mine is not, so I wonder if there would be... The cool thing about it being dynamic is that then the mouth on that Universal Sonic Mouth Rig is no longer relates... Well, actually it was different, but because the same mesh that held the mouth was also a clone, so it also possessed this, and so only that ghost face at the basis, a bit like mine, didn't have the mouth, so this was equivalent. But then this deformed, and this deformed similarly, and then there was another face which had a mouth too, and but one was probably, and there 3 were shrink wrapping into something, or at least 2, so it's quite a crazy crossing shrink wrapping and double shrink wrapping, and it's just crazy. But the 3 mesh objects were parented to the same armature object, and the bones that deformed them were usually the same, yeah, except that just changed the face, no mouth, while the 2 others, I just have one other, the real mesh, has face and mouth, and whatever transforms I need to do on the. So, but I don't know if, yeah, there's pros and cons. The problem is mine rig I haven't finished yet, so there is this boolean thing, so maybe maybe I could get the mouth as a boolean. Just as I was doing there, so this could get a bit crazy, folks. I got inspired by this. Let's try that. So we're gonna go here and go boolean test, and here is already our next day on my region. So this completely crazy approach, no, it's not completely, it is the other Kirby tutorial, right? However, there's the shrink wrapping thing we haven't solved yet, so, and I'm afraid to do this separation, right? But yeah, let's stop being scared, right? Let's do this thing. So I'll ignore what's in the mouth interior, because we are probably going to go to the more conventional strategy of disconnecting it. I'm most inclined to do this in the very near, as one of our next. Okay, so now it seems that I'm having a problem with this. Yes, apparently this was mouth interior was including the lips, so this is absolutely wrong. So let's change the reality of this. Remove. I don't know how that happened. This shouldn't include this, so remove also. Alright. Hide. Here we need to get the lips. We are saving, so okay, I hope I don't save. We made some corrections, right? So I don't want to have to remake them, but never mind. We are going to disconnect the lips. Right, we can do this smarter. We might or might not include that last loop. Let's include just for this experiment, so that'll be the first beginning of the skin, so we are not even gonna duplicate, we really just selection. Now I have a mouth which is like that. If I check those things, yes, it holds the vertex groups, so in principle this mesh should be still deformable by the lips bones. Actually we have these tweak bones. Yes, okay, so except that the mesh is disconnected, so but it's still shrink wrapping to, I guess, something. Okay, so despite the disconnection, it still works somehow, but yes. But of course, what we are up to here, we don't want many of these things. Okay, these are actually, we can, if we hide them, I think something different will occur. We're gonna make some tests here. Looks like a duck. Nothing is happening. Maybe that's fine. So we'll not delete them. Corrective smooth eyelash, no. Corrective smooth. Okay, we keep that. Corrective smooth lips. Why does? Oh, this is okay. An object modifier. We don't need that. Solidify lips. Maybe we can play with that. Subdivisions. Maybe this will be required. Well, we'll keep it on. And the rest is no. Yeah. So according to what we had on the experimental thing, first thing is that we are not gonna. Well, we could move the lips with this. Move the. Yeah, the problem is that those bones move everything, right? So what we want is not to move everything. The cool thing is that, well, here we can already shape this independently of the mouth with these splines here. So that, yeah. Hold on, okay. But this moves the, yes, so this is the cool thing about the other rig, and we'll see what we can do about all that. We cannot have, currently we don't have really the mouth independent. Well, we can, yes, of course we had, because this moves the bones and the waves are separated, okay. But the problem is that our deforms for the sliding mouth is really complicated. It just doesn't. Yeah, so I see. Maybe we need tweak bones that are not exactly this. Yeah, maybe we need another hierarchy. Tweak bones for only the spline set. The spline sets, and then the tweak bone, and this would be parented to another main bone so that we could have them independent. Very simple setup, lots of bones of course, but now we are intrigued by another thing. We want to be able to change the mouth position to be okay. What's happened to the mouth position, to the mouth here? I think it's some it's difficult to pose. It's like it's not the shrink crabs. Maybe it's the armature. Let's turn all that off except the mirror. No, it's still being difficult, so now it's easy. Now it's easy, so yeah, it was something there. I push it inside the mesh, it gets... I think some of its vertices are still being affected by perhaps some constraint, maybe. Well, we okay. never mind. So let's try to add the boolean immediately. Let's see what happens. Okay, we need a shrink wrap first, so we are going to play with that. So we'll make the shrink wrap layering. So basically, okay, I'm there, you can go to bed, I take care of the internet. Yeah, sure. Hello, let's welcome back. And so how are you doing? Finally you arrived. I was willing to finish the live. I couldn't finish the live stream. Someone had to substitute my job here, right? We make how to say inversion, how they call it, right? Alright, so I'm gonna add this, yeah, start to create the vertex groups. So it will be simple. So start with that one, would have maximum waves. Then we start to, yeah, we need to increase this, actually invert, and from here we can start to, yeah, blur. Of course we won't do anything if we have so much stuff in the way. Blur, it's not blurring. It should be able to blur because, oh, I see why not. It seems that there is, okay, let's assume we did that. If we resume, Shift K, then we do this. Okay, let's do something like that. That should be fine. This is for shrink wrapping. So this means that we are going to have the melt shrink wrapping onto the face in a terrible way. We are going to cheat just as they taught us. So here the inner part, which is hard to access right now, also should have, okay, why don't I do this instead? That part could also have some shrink wrapping thing, and we can do this like easily by assign these waves. Then we can do this, then perhaps here we can just blur, and that might be enough. Okay, we could blur that just to get some regular stuff. I don't think those, well, maybe it's okay to leave these low waves for shrink wrapping. It's sure it's risky, but you know, they are like 0.000198, so really not very broken. Yeah, we shouldn't be worrying too much about that. So something is lagging here, maybe. Yeah, something horrible is lagging this stuff. Could it be this shrink wrapping? No, it's something else. So this is still the Boolean test. I think I'm gonna close Blender and reopen. Okay, okay, got back to norm, so maybe just a lag spike. Here we need to put this in the beginning after the armature modifier, perhaps. We need to, yeah, the body. We need to use the, okay, we didn't assign a, so mod shrink wrap lips. Then we go here, it's strange mouth, right? Target lips should be, no, this is too hard, so mod shrink wrap is better. Shrink wrap lips, so not the inverse, the lips themselves. Offset of the shrink wrapping, we could something for the boolean to be adequate. Yeah, now the question is on surface. No, let's go inside, a positive value inside. This will be, so this start to get crazy. No, could go outside. I think it's outside, so the outside will mean that select how is constrained to the outside. The point is constrained to the outside to be out, is constrained to be outside of, okay, so the mouth don't go inside. Yeah, it's being pushed away from this mesh, but because there's a hole here, it starts to collapse inwards, and this is the problem of this mesh. So actually there would be probably this shouldn't be that target, it should be the ghost, although the ghost is non-dynamic right now, so I could get it negative. So now the lips are going there, so of course it doesn't have any good rotations in relation to the, it's just shrink wraps, but it doesn't follow any structural thing in this kind of posing, so we don't have controls for it, nor boolean will help. The only thing that will help is some sort of pivoting, and we don't have, just sliding some object here won't help, right? But the cool thing is that it's sliding at least. So let's see. Yeah, could have corrective, could have this, all this, right? Then let's try the, if we did that for the body, on the other hand, it also works. It's not very different actually, so oh, talking about pivot points, we could try something actually. No, this is not happening because I don't remember how did I develop the other. It was the boolean that was causing that effect, I think. No, it was the shrink wrap stuff. Okay. Actually to the ghost certain. These vertex group shrink wrap lips doesn't seem to be very effective actually. Why not? Let's reassess this then. Assign one to this, assign for this, and for this maybe 0.8, for this and for this 0.6, for this and this. So this is one. It's like that because of a solid define modifier. Let's turn it off, it's confusing. Am I forgetting anything? It's like not working. Might be suffering the same. Oh, it's because of that. Okay. Maybe it's inside that we need. No. Outside surface. It's like it's just nothing is. It's not shrink wrapping at all, so it's not. Seems it's not working. Oh, it's disabled naturally. So outside. Now the marvels or the horrors of shrink wrapping. layering, shrink wrapping. Can't get inside, but it can get outside. Okay, so what we want is that okay, so we see we can move the mesh along the face, which is quite interesting with this simple method. Of course, this is not enough for many reasons. We can rotate, this is way more pulling of the mouth than we've ever seen before, but it deforms also in ways that I don't know exactly what is. Oh, this is pulling the vertices. Alright, too much inside, so let's say we clear rotation. Now I don't know where it goes, so maybe no clear rotation. Apply transforms, no, never. So I don't know how to get it back to its original shape, which is reset this and alright, so resetting those things, right? We didn't go for the boolean yet, so one thing we could do here finally to stop this horrid suffering is one thing, of course, is just extruding this of course it's terrible, but we are creating the conditions for okay, so let's say bridge edge loop. No, doesn't work, so we can just do something like merge at merge at center, something like that. There we go. Alright, of course this is not good enough. Still not good enough. We need to get rid of some crazy okay, this is never ending tragedy here. Okay, we could try this, and of course this is annoying, it's on the way. Let's hide this. Now this means that we can try, for example, changing the target to body. It's no big deal here. Then so this seems a way to be able to control how this thing pivots. Of course it's not very be much better with some control bones also. But yeah, this allows to slide the mouth along the face without any critical deform to the mesh, which is bizarre, right? Because but then we are not capable of bringing a hole with it, so we need to perhaps, now is where comes perhaps a boolean if we could ever do it properly. So let's see. So difference, don't do nothing in this case. I need to target something. Union, we got certainly that mesh is corrupted, so I think, yes, I've seen that mesh corrupted. And what if we get to the ghost instead? Ghost, now ghost. Yeah, this thing got disrupted. So okay, we seem to be possible to have that system here, which is so this is not a big deal, but then having these transforms being well, then of course if you have controllers on this mesh that follow as we pose, we can shape this on top of that. That is only... So I have an idea, something I should perhaps attempt is try to live stream exactly right now this Kirby tutorial, because I'm not gonna use the lattice. Let's try to clear this at once. There's no... Yeah, it starts with a lattice, but it's the least relevant thing. It's just a control system, so far as I got. This is what brings the Boolean idea, so I'm not sure how ideal it is, but it looks like the mouth interior is built as a continuation of the mouth. So there's UV sphere, it becomes half sphere, currently we have... Okay, then there's another object which suffers from a skin modifier. Okay, so it's just a shape, not relevant, to make some lips or something like that. Yeah, there's some instructions that might worth checking, but then the lattice to make the forms of these shapes. I didn't check the parenting, right? This is why I don't like this kind of tutorial that is things start to build on top of the other, and if there's no theoretic conceptualization, like notes can help, of course, but then have to pause all the time. It's not that good. Text and image, like video, it's crappy. It's better than nothing, right? So sometimes we are in good mood for learning from these things, but I have my own idea about what is a didactic tutorial, right? Or didactic content. Tutorials even aren't really didactic, right? Well, yeah, they are didactic. At least that. They just might not be very educational, pedagogical also. There's no interaction, right? So no engagement nearly. And I make tutorials. I know this is what tutorials are. But it's a good tutorial, it's just that it's yeah, I cannot focus, it's just too fast, and yeah. Okay, so that we get. This would be the mouth interior, right? So let's go back to... No, we could do here, or we could do on our character. Here, of course, would be easier, right? So let's restart here. So this will be a surface, then we create okay, let's try to... So sphere, then this becomes a half sphere, that we can move here. Then alright, we about the edges we're not sure, but let's see. It gives a color. Color was given. Then you have this stuff there. Okay, the skin modifier, this is just I believe this is not meant to interact with otherwise what you can do instead. Yeah, it could be risky, but we could well, we could create some sort of solidify modifier, right, for thickness, but maybe this have some interaction, but then at least we can do that, right? So then we can do this, then we can also give it some, I don't know, some different material. Alright, that could be fine. I need to save this in another, so Kirby Mount Kirby 3. So it's kind of merging ideas, right? So there's this from different tutorials, then we end up with some original stuff. Sometimes that's right. Now the lat is okay. There's the controllers things for this Maltrix, so this is not really what matters. Let's go. I try to skip that because it's not the controllers that I want, but I've learned something cool from that. Actually, very valuable is that lattice can be edited like a plane instead of a cube. By default, it's a cube. Okay, so there are a lot of things regarding the lot of time for the armature. Okay, so it's relevant, interesting, yeah, hook stuff. An important feature to know. So it's a quite complete tutorial if it weren't for the fact that it is not explained in more details. But it's clear now. Good tutorial. So simple, relatively simple case, and probably like it's not probably the rig will do. It will be difficult to adapt for non-stylized, more organic characters. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, what's happening there? Okay, it's the control rig, and there is just there's just the hooks and the mesh not doing properly their job. Alright, so hooks are very complicated to deal with. It's difficult to have good tracking of where they are, where they are coming from. It's a bit crazy. They are used in spline Aikibone constraints, which is similar to bendy bones. So spline skinning. So I know a bunch of the hardships of hook modifiers. Okay, then you see a lot of work, hard work on the hook modifiers. That's a lot of hooks, and you have to a single misclick and you have to look everything for a single mistake. Alright, so the rig then is done for the control rig at least. Then create a new sphere. Now it does delete mesh UV sphere. Why create a new one? Delete. Okay, so then snap. Okay, cursor, then mesh, UV. Okay, then there's this. Okay, that's the head. Then okay, the new up. This is what I dislike. There's no anticipation really of what is happening, and okay, Boolean. Okay, so I see it's also another version, Blender version. It looks like the 3 years old tutorial. Not so old actually. It's just perhaps the UI or the last times before Blender 3.0 maybe, or 2.9. So Boolean, I never catch which object is selected. Okay, that one. Sorry if you see, I just can't see that fast, so, especially at this point. So mirror, no. Solidify, no. Subdivision. Okay, so the face, the mesh takes that and targets the other stuff. And there's, and what's the position? Yeah, there's no real explanation of the position. Should it be touching? Does it matter? Then okay, let's go. Let's see the chat real quick. No, nothing new. Okay, continue here. And difference. Alright, so in principle the idea is that this creates a mouth hole. It's bizarre, the effect, so maybe might be a correction. Skin, what is this? Skin modifier to bones. Lattice and skin, no, it was made. Solidify after the lattice. The lattice is from that. If we hide the solidify, solidify thickness. Oh, actually, it was here. She was hiding the. I don't know if it's hidden or unhidden. And suddenly it swaps for some toggle, I don't know, maybe mode. There you go, and we don't know if that is the inside or just surface. So that's, it's a bit obscure, right? There's the old version, and so, but again, so I've tried to catch what's going on and couldn't. So I think it's let's see what we can do here. It's just might be just some Boolean idea that I'm missing. In this case I'm already, so maybe there's some relation with the solidify modifier. Okay, Boolean, the other case was this, right? The Boolean was on the face thing. Okay, the difference doesn't create a hole, but yes, this is a, alright, and then union will unite, intersect will of course destroy. I think nothing is like that. solidify don't seem on this object don't seem to have anything to do with the final effect, but gas does. At a preservation to the I don't think this is the case, so it's something that will neutralize. This should be much simpler than I'm doing it. Anyways, maybe I need another object to do this decimation of the. Okay, let's try that other approach, like a circle that suffers perhaps from. Now let's do something different. We get this, perhaps face look like that, then we duplicate and we select out, then it is not there, it is here, and we are going to make this thing like, why not like this, right? It will be, we're gonna make it, scale it like, no need to scale, we just need to it's proportional editing, right? So we'll make sure that it will be there. And this will try to decimate the geometry of the thing. So this could certainly be union with that, but then we have another that will be a difference, but to that. It's not clear what that is doing, though. It seems that it doesn't intersect. The order doesn't. Yeah, it's like an intersection that for some reason it's like not. Okay, what about? Yeah, also this is not enough. Yes, I'm out of options here. I just don't know how to use this stuff. Definitively, I'm just about rigging, modeling, and 3D animation in Blender. I did a bit of shading, rendering, compositing, and then and video sequence and edit. I need much more insight into this stuff. Alright, so there is this other thing though. There should be other modifier capable of doing something like that. Something that can create a hole in, or maybe it's something about applying. That's right. Like add modifier last time. Okay, boolean targeting this, and it will be we don't have an inversion rate difference. Otherwise we could do it. I was doing the inverse, like boolean here and then intersection and apply. No, nothing. Yeah, and it would need to be dynamic anyway, so it's not a. We see that affected the mesh there. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, this makes sense. So it's really this is interesting. So this means that if I had an object that could be like non-existent, this is why perhaps the idea of this thing, right? It's still a single object already, so maybe it is happening, but it's not. This is destroying the. Yeah, never mind. So I just want to. I need to research on that a little more. How I could and cast what the cast does. Sounds like a deformer thing. Yeah, nothing. Anything else that we can bev array build decimate, add a value to the effect decimate. Now this is mesh stuff. Geometry nodes could be the way to go. Skin was used, but I don't think it has anything to do with that. Volume to mesh wireframe. This creates hole. But it's not like we can. We need to have like. It's based on the subdivisions. So it's not like you can control a single structure apparently. Yes, it's just a wireframe. Full clappation, yes, sphere out of. And weld, I think it only works for the same. Mesh welding onto a the same mesh object welding. Yeah, it's a bit complicated to visualized thing. It's not a target by, it's in itself. Well, it's like just a connection between. Yeah, this could be used for the mouth interior. I never know when to use this prop, so it's not very intuitive to use that. There's a good tutorial from a guy, so definitely not happy these small experimentations here. Sorry for taking all that time. I hope no one is watching this. And Lighting Boy Studio channel. Lightning Boy Studio channel. Toon shaded face rig. Oh, you found something. Cool, cool. Thanks, Alotsky. Let's see. I wasn't looking at the chat because yeah, forgot about that. Let's see what we got here. Great. Let's see what this 1 hour. Okay. This is shading and modeling tips. Okay, I think I got just a random. Okay, there is this toon shade face rig using boolean in. Okay, I need to research that and check the normals for boolean. This is very critical. I see. This might be a good introduction for this. Toon shade. Oh, I think I know this tutorial. Yeah, but I didn't know it used. Yeah, about the boolean part. I've watched some parts of it, but it's too long and it's more like 3D design. But yeah, the character design is really incredible for 3D. So boolean setup. Oh yes, this will be good. Really good, really good. You'll see. Okay, I'm gonna save this. It'll be fundamental. Let's go. Thanks, Alotsky. Once again, I'm going to check some stuff. Huh? Blender. Holes in mesh when using subdivision accurately tinkering. Okay. We need it's not simply cutting a hole, right? It's like active stuff, right? But your tip with the normals is very important. Maybe there was something wrong about the normals there.
Well, there are different ways. There's now. You can choose. Okay. Just go to difference. Okay, choose this. Now, you don't need to do anything other than that. So just go to Object here, and this one is eyedropper. This thing eyedropper symbol. Here, the object. Here on theme collection. Click on this icon.
Oh, I saw. There we go. Alright, so what does it mean is that we need to shape. Oh, now it makes sense. I got some idea why we need to carve a hole with a boolean on difference, okay, but with an object which is actually shaped by. Okay, but this is, there's a small problem in that regarding the there's not a big. Okay, I see things that can go wrong and things that can go right. Okay, we can immediately assess this thing. Hold on. let's get not Boolean test, but yes, we were doing this thing, right? So basically the problem, yeah, there are many problems in this approach, but yeah, this is when I was having the melt separated, right? So in this case I still haven't we need to have a shape that doesn't really matter, sort of a cylinder that adapts to this shape, so it will be a deforming mesh that, wow, it conforms to certain, it would be a profile of that, sort of a cylinder with a profile bendy bone that adapts to this. This is very experimental. This is not necessarily a good idea. It would, however, and then the problem is that we'll have to keep adapting this profile. No, it would be automatically, because as long as we have the, I don't have the things here, they would need to, okay, so at least we got some idea here. Thanks to your recommendation, I also got some insight into looking for what I required, so, and check the norms for Boolean is very critical. Yes, so I'm not gonna make this proof of concept now because it, yeah, I should going to sleep at this point. But yes, this was very interesting. I'll just take notes here. We achieved something, I think we did today. Yes, that things was important. Test gradations, it's fine. Assess dynamic, this we didn't. This will be very cool if I could. New lips, yeah, because the rest requires here, there's some rest position for mesh and armature of the lips that it takes some time. It's real focus here, so this will be for tomorrow. We're gonna finally change these medical shapes of the lips for this character. We are gonna make something simpler because now we have these profile curves, or profile lips profiles, bendy bone splines, and we learned they worked. We fixed the waist for the head bone on the, so now they are very exact, they are very precise. We could improve certainly, but now they kind of do what they were expected to do, working like profiles, so you can morph the lips, and we can actually have these morphs anywhere, like for example, now here we, yes, it's offset, but doesn't matter. If the mouth was not this mouth, but imagine working normally, and I got animation, where's the pose asset here? Okay, must be on pose mode, right? Then we have here, yes, it's offset, that's why that's happened, but then you see the lips are shaped there because of the change of the, so you can have this for to reshape the locally, because it's local space, is just that bones changing. So Yeah, so all the separation probably not using, and let's see. Yeah, so where I was at, just trying to finish this presentation here. Yes, so here we need to add something, which is the Boolean whole profile. Now, Boolean mouth hole cylinder deform mesh object shaped by profile bend bone splines of the mechanism. Actually, all this we shaped by profile bendy bone splines of the mechanism lips. The lips mechanism bones, which we don't have yet. This mechanism is actually something we had, but not as exactly as mechanism, but just as what would be the regular those ones. So I intend to do something very interesting with these things, so I don't need to delete them. I'm gonna reuse them or part of them to be only mechanism bones for the profiles, lips profiles. So the lips profile will kind of follow this stuff. They'll be like rings, and actually this will help me to displace the profiles in an organized way in order to shape the lips, the mouth hole shape. And then comes the Boolean thing. I wasn't thinking about the cylinder thing, invisible cylinder thing, but now that we had you came with that idea that how to improve the Booleans, then and with that little research, we can show. Of course, there won't be waves here. I think this will be bad. The waves will be relying on the profiles. So if you have a few more profiles, we should be able to shape like any mouth shape, or nearly any expressive mouth shape with this, and this will automatically generate the shape. It will deform the cylinder, which would be the hole, and then we move these splines also with this old stuff. So we should draw with spline skinning, with mechanism we shall. Yeah, so this will be also many proof of concepts at once. But the problem is this mouth hole system generated Boolean. It's not useful to try it out right now. This mechanism is indifferent of that. We can use this. It will be a proof of concept on its own, because we need to do it anyways, I believe. But the Boolean's another story. The Boolean will be required if we really decide that this mouth should be moving with a shrink wrap to the face, and I'm not sure I want to do that. Maybe experimentally, yes, but I'm not convinced this is the way to go, although it already shows a lot of potential. But right now I'm trying to do this with okay, the reasons this doesn't move, we may change the head mesh, right? So you see we have some, if this is properly set, we have ways to, we currently have some ways to move the lips. It's just difficult currently because we didn't set all the thing, and maybe it's not good enough, right? Yeah, it's, but there are more tests I need to do regarding this particular rig before we start to, yeah, there are the shape of the lips that I want to simplify, and that's it. So once we do that, we can decide to which direction we go the experimentation. Because now we have those structures here and I know they work, so the real problem is how to get this, one of the problems is how to get this mechanism not cause these deforms there and keep the shape of the lips as we pose these bones, as we move the, yeah, carry the, so there's, if there is a chance that we won't need to, you see, look at this, so this is showing interesting possibilities. The mouth is nearly, and it is connected mesh. There's a lot of mesh yet to deform here. I know these waves are a little bad here, so it's not pulling this enough, and this is the corners, lips corner is very important. Alright, enough's enough this horror. So we are going to go now. So let's good work required good rest. I agree. So I'm getting better at this. Today we got a lot of progress. Also, watch the best Rasputin clip and song Vladimir Putin funk overload and go to sleep. Yeah, let's check this thing. Oh, I know this one. Yeah, it's really good one. It's the animation of Putin dancing with the scientists or something like that. Yeah, let's rewatch this. This is a different version. I think the soundtrack is different, but no, it's the same. Or not. That's seems it's really good, the ideas of how the cartoons were made. The expressions are very cool too. A good way to end a live stream, maybe. Yes, that's very cool, very cool. So good, I found a little. So thanks for watching, folks. Thanks for your participation. Alotsky, we are going tomorrow to assess what to do next. We have lots of progress, but now we are some in a more blurry condition. But we'll get away. So maybe tomorrow will be a not so interesting day than what happened today and many such. But we'll keep progressing and getting more concepts developed and learned. So and shared. So that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good rest and work or whatever, and happy blending. See you next time. Bye.